The cash bar look like they're ready for y'all to come bar over there. I know everybody should know the more good spirits you have in here, the more money you spend. So they want y'all to patronize the cash bar and patronize Dr. Mark. Okay? So eat up, drink up, and we'll be back shortly.
There you go.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, I love y'all.
Good job.
Awards ceremony for our wonderful new to-be, soon-to-be Congressman Dr. Mark Baker. Again, thank you so much for being here. My name is Keosha. I am the campaign coordinator for this evening's event and for the campaign. We've got tablets ready. We've got our money bags ready. But we also want to say thank you to each and every one of you who have already contributed and supported this movement. This is truly a movement. We have our volunteer coordinator in here, Miss Sally. Be sure to see her for volunteer opportunities. We're out here knocking on doors, canvassing, doing whatever we can to make sure that people know about Dr. Mark Baker. For me, it's about what he has already done, the things that he's already committed to in our cities, the things that he's already passed, not false promises. We get that each and every election. We get tired of that. So it is time to truly pass the baton. And even if you don't want to pass the baton, we're going to take it. Because this is what we are looking forward to as the new U.S. Congressman Mark Baker. So if you would like to make a donation tonight, we're not going to harass you. We will be coming around. But we would love for you to contribute to this campaign. This campaign, as you know, it costs. It costs to service our community. But he has already been putting so many efforts in numerous years that have been free. So this is the time for us to kind of reach out in our pockets. As we all heard on Coming to America, we love the things that jingle, but we definitely appreciate those things that fall. So nevertheless, please see myself. We have our campaign manager, Mr. Yusuf, Outlet. So please see us if you would like to make a donation. We would take credit cards, cash, Zelle, money orders, cashier's check, debit cards, anything that you can do. No amount is too small, and of course, no amount is too big. So again, I am Keosha, and welcome to this evening's honors ceremony.
Now we have another guest that needs to speak because he has to run. South Fulton residents, this is your man. This is your man that came
city in America, South Fulton, Georgia. I'm gonna say a couple words about my role in council. This week, next week, well, Sunday is starting the week, right? This week we are celebrating our 5th anniversary as a city. We've been a city for 5 years, and people are like, "Oh, Khalid, we see you everywhere. You're all over the place. People can't keep up with you." This man has definitely kept up with me and surpassed. No one has passed more progressive legislation in our city than Dr. Baker. Abolishing Columbus Day, decriminalizing marijuana, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, banning the box, our first development authority, Breonna Taylor's law, was marching the Juneteenth holiday with me, They Can't Wait resolution, on and on and on and on. He's just the hardest working man on our council. And that's important because, sometimes you come in hot into a situation and you get a reputation for being, this radical socialist council person, and folks don't want to work with you. One of the things that Dr. Baker has been able to do is work with anybody. And we need to send someone to Congress who can actually get things done. I know a lot of people talk about that, but in a very volatile and contentious council, this man has passed 24 pieces of the most progressive legislation, not only in our city, but in the South. And I just want to thank you so much for that, sir. I'm excited about you at the federal level. But the other reason that I really just wholeheartedly support this man is because he is here. I learned from him when we started doing these Future of South Fulton forums together, that you can't teach a child you don't love, you can't teach a child you're afraid of, you can't teach a child you don't understand. And this man, when we started, I used to be a MARTA bus driver, so I still need a little money. But this man was retired. He had done all the right things. He had been a police officer in our schools. He was retired. He was writing books and, owning homes and taking his kids on trips every summer. And he was just living his best life. And he gave a lot of that up to be out in the streets of South Fulton, Old National, Winter Ridge. About 2 weeks ago, we had a shooting off of Creole Road in this community called Pine Tree that I used to live in. And we went and knocked on the doors. It was 50 black men from all of these amazing organizations. I'm a Father First, the Next Level Boys Academy, Juneteenth. I've started naming people so that I can't hear everybody. Like, there were so many different organizations that were out there. Let Us Make Man, but Dr. Baker was out there. It is so important at this moment in history for our young people, particularly our young men, to have leaders that they can see, that they can touch, that live in the communities that they serve, that you can see at a Walmart or a Kroger or an LA Fitness or a TGI Fridays, that you don't have to have a $100,000 checkbook or a plane ticket to DC to track this person down and see them. Like, you just see him everywhere. And I thank you so much for coming out of retirement and giving us this time in your life to make all of our lives better. So definitely, everyone, if you haven't given, please give. If you have given, give some more. We're going to do a silent auction tonight. That means we don't want to have any donations that make noise. We want dollars and checks and credit cards and Bitcoins and PayPals and things like that. But no, seriously. cannot wait until May 2nd, when I can go to the polling place and cast my vote for our next congressman, Khalid. South Fulton forever.
Praise be to Jesus. Thank you, Lord. See what happens when you pay your tithe. You don't know how the Holy Spirit gonna do it, but He gonna do it. Thank you, Lord. Dr. Baker said he ready to get on into the reason why, the second reason why we're here, the first reason why we're here is this beautiful fundraiser. Please make sure you give. G-I-V-E. I want y'all to get pictures with Dr. Baker. I want y'all to hashtag. Excuse me, I ain't saying doctor, I'm saying congressman. We manifested, right? That's right. Congressman Baker. Congressman, will I be out of order if you didn't, if I go ahead of you and start a riot? I'm talking about election day. I'm gonna do what the president did. Can't do that. Don't do that. If we ain't high right now, and that that's really your friend. I was like, your wife is beautiful. He said that, and he said, that's my mom. Okay. And look at your mom, just as beautiful as her. Thank you. Okay, y'all, we're moving right along. So I am Tisa, and I'm the host this evening for this fabulous event. I need to let y'all know something. Everybody get these cards? No, some, not everybody. Okay, we got to get these cards out because not only is this fabulous gentleman on the front, but on the back is everything he's already had passed in the legislation. Y'all know he abolished Columbus Day? And see, I was just wondering about this cannabis decriminalization. I'm gonna get my call. But I don't need a card now, do I? Okay, no, keep talking. Okay, keep talking. $15 minimum wage? My daughter need to hurry up and turn 16. Ban the box for convicted felons. And that means they don't have to say they convicted felons, right? Oh, now that's amazing. Can't nobody say they can't get no job because he banned the box. Y'all can get a job. Well, not y'all, because they ain't no convicted felons in here. Activated Development Authority. Activated Urban Redevelopment Authority. Resolution regarding long-term effects 5G towers. So is that where when I'm walking by the towers, my ears start ringing? Nobody don't know like me? Okay, we're going to find that out. Get up there. Juneteenth holiday? You did that? All right, for us by us. Breonna Taylor's law, you did that. Ending no knock warrants. Okay, y'all give it up for that. Okay, if that's the harassment ordinance, oh, I need to talk to you about this one. They took my house, but that ain't about the house. Keep reading, Tisa, okay. Central Park 5 legislation. Grounded. Resolution condemning domestic terrorism. Resolution regarding George Floyd Policing Act of 2021. Resolution regarding critical race theory. Ooh, can we talk about that? Okay, keep reading, Tisa. Georgia's first reparations legislation. Y'all not excited, but I'm excited. He's already did this. He's promised. It's already done. One of my dreams was to be a pastor, so I felt like I should say that again. It's already done. The
We used to do that back in Buckhead and Fuel. Oh, they took Buckhead from us. We're not gonna let them take Buckhead from us. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am grateful to be before you today. And I look around and I'm not uncomfortable at all because the majority of y'all are family and close friends, so this works. And new friends, I really appreciate you guys coming out today, and I really appreciate all of the great things that were said prior to our mayor, Mayor Khalid. I think he had to run, but I really do appreciate that brother coming by. He's a very solid guy. It's actually his fault. Actually, I can't even say that. Marcus, you back there, you had him. Marcus is part of the reason I'm your public servant too. You don't know all of the details, but since this is an intimate setting, I might share it, Marcus. But that's my brother back there too. But I mean, when you see activists who come up and they represent our people on a regular basis, and you're just that person that's being a footnote in the crowd for so long, you know, when the opportunity came, it's like, oh, I can do that. And that's where I came in. So it's like, I do want to tell the story just because I see you, Marcus, I'm sorry. So this is fun fact. I never wanted to run for any office ever. This wasn't my lifelong dream to be a public servant in this field. And I went to, my brother, he's not here, he has a prior engagement, Arnold Jiggins. He called me up while I was working on doing my book stuff. And he said, yo, you know everything past the cityhood. Marcus, I'm sorry, I'll tell the story. He said everything past the cityhood, right? And they're going to have the candidates speak. So we have to go and see the candidates speak, you know, so we know who we're going to vote for. And we went over to, I think it was Clintondale Church, and there was a long line across the front of the church. And these people all had their speeches, their slogans together, and it was remarkable. And I'm sitting in the front just looking. So they let the mayors go first. And there was about 12 people at the time that were vying for the position of mayor. And I wasn't the politically astute guy. I just was listening to the slogans. And one stands out, and I love this brother now, I got to know him. Marcus, you remember Ron Few? Chief Few was the fire chief, I think, in the custody, the first black fire chief. And I didn't hear nothing that he said because it didn't really matter. But what stuck with me is that many are called, but few
are chosen.
Few was chosen. I said, Ron Few, that's my man right there. I'm going over there. It was just that simple. I was willing to give my vote away for anything. But the point of it was we went through that list of the people in District 1. I mean, all of the mayors, the people in District 1, the people in District 2, 3, 4, 5. And when we got to 6, I saw the guy that just left up here. And he talked about how they shut down the interstate during the riots. And I was like, hey, I was around. You know, and this is somebody that's willing to do this. This is somebody that I'm willing to vote for. Because people are tired of the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I looked at the map and I noticed, man, I can't vote for him. He's in District 6, I live in District 7. And I don't know where Marcus Coleman was that night. But I'm glad he wasn't there because I wouldn't be standing there before him. So I'm saying this because Marcus Coleman ran for District 7. He ran to represent the same district that I was in. But there was one that night, Linda Pritchett was there. And Linda Pritchett spoke, and she was the only person vying for District 7. Out of like 6 and 7 people for each district, just this one lady. And I don't think I've ever told this story all the way publicly, but she was the one. And she said I was a paralegal. I helped organize, you know, town hall meetings for Donzella James. I said it, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's all right. But I mean, I love Linda, she knows it. It was one of those things, though, where I was still fired up by our mayor you know, and LaDon Blackie Jones ended up being my solicitor and administrator. She was over that forum that night, and she said, now, these are the people who are already stepped up. And if anybody else in the audience is willing to step up, if you have the time, they don't pay for $13,000 a year. So if you got a little change and you think you can make it, you know, consider it. In fact, if anybody out in the audience is interested, come on up. I'll give you your minute and 30 seconds. And so I'm joking with AJ, like, I'm about to get up now. And like, before he can say I wasn't going nowhere, from the back of the church I yelled, "Error!" and raised my hand and I walked to the front. I talked about my experience being born and raised in Chicago and working in the schools. I talked about the organizations that I was in Chicago. Okay? The organizations that I was a part of, Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
All right.
The Berry Lodge number 2, Prince Hall Masons, and just everything that I had been a part of leading up to where I was at that point, a retired school resource officer and college professor in African American Studies from Clark Atlanta University. And before it was over, everybody came. Like when we ended, people approached me and were like, "Hey, we want to represent you. We want to run your campaign." I didn't know now because I realized that campaigns are a racket. I hate to say it, and we know that because we have. I saw a video. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm talking to family, so it's okay. If it's okay, I saw a video that said you only need a couple, a strong group of like 4 or 5 people, and you can accomplish anything. Like you don't need the whole man. You don't need all of the masses. All you need is a few that's true, and you can bring anything together. But those people, they stole they stole a lot of my money, and I didn't have anything but the ideas and the continuity of somebody who I said yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday is about 85% of everything I do, and I can't keep going talking further without acknowledging my brother. Use my way. I was going to ask him to stand, but y'all already standing because he probably will. To do something to make stuff come together. This is my brother. But it's like, it worked. It worked. And I appreciate you and I love you, brother, for all you do for me. It's still working. It's still working. And I guess they stole our money, but we walk and canvas every single day, touching all the homes, because we didn't know better. We didn't know about vote building, none of that. We went to everybody's house. We didn't know that some people don't vote. And so, like, you don't have to necessarily knock on their door because they're not going to be engaged anyway. We went to their homes too, with everything. And, I mean, it ended up working out. But the bottom line is, Marcus, I'm going to say it. I was thinking, like, no, but that's my guy now, so I can say it. So this is what happened. So I said I was going to run, and everybody was cool. And then there was another forum at Westlake High School. And Marcus Coleman went to Westlake High School, and he was like, once I saw him, I was like, I know him. That's one of the baddest men I know in Atlanta. I done marched behind him down Peachtree Street. But Marcus was like this. Marcus spoke before me. He told everybody about all of his accolades that were amazing. And I knew him before he said it, but I was sitting back there like, what am I going to do? Why did I even say I wanted to run for something? I didn't know. Why wasn't he president the first day? He'd have gave me more energy than Khalid. And I'd have probably ran his campaign. But it was like, Marcus said, I've been battlefield tested. I done this, I done that. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And I didn't know what to say. But the basketball / athlete guy hit me with Marcus turned around and said, I don't know none of them. It took me out and I was like, no. But I was there. I know you don't know me. I was just a footnote in the crowd. But it made me say, yo, I'm going to go ahead. I got to beat this dude. I got to beat you, Marcus. in the back of my head, but it was one of those things that if he was there that first night, there was nothing that would have made me say I'm going to going to do this. I want to step up to lead our community. And I mean, it's so great to be in the District 7, which is amazing, in South Fulton, because Marcus didn't take his ball and go home. Marcus has been there with me from the beginning. He was there when I went to qualify. You know, a lot of people didn't know we had so many conversations about how we need to strategically do things. It's okay to say it now, I ain't no council no more. We had all of these conversations about how I should move and what I should do, and you know, it's like, even Linda being president, all the Alvin Rivers, I put him on the planning committee. All of these people came together and it was an amazing feat. And it showed the common unity in our community. And it made me feel like this is something that we can do as a collective, you know, footnote still, you know, as we come together and build. But we did that, and as she said, a couple of those pieces of legislation I've been able to pass. And as the mayor said, under sometimes a contentious council, we were able to excel and do this with an amazing attorney by the name of Amelia Walker. Can you please stand up or wave or something? Because she is the person responsible for making South Fulton do this legislation look good, meaning sitting down with her and saying, look, Amelia, this is what I want to do. And I know you're a smart person, so let's figure it out. And staying on the phone with her late at night and pulling this stuff together, we've been able to pass everything that she said, yes. And many of these things being Georgia first, like being the first to abolish Columbus Day, being the first to end no-knock warrants, writing the first reparations legislation. These conversations will come from a phone call and then us being on the phone until a baby start crying, until or whatever it is. But I mean, I'm just elated right now, and I have the momentum to make me want to go faster and further. My daughter is looking at me. I'm supposed to say, so what? I'll do this. It's not talking about that. Y'all, that's my baby girl, Marty. Marty, raise your hand. That's Marty Simone. Raise your hand. I tell people that you don't have bosses at your job, your places of employment. They're all at home. And that's my boss. That's my son, Mark Messiah Nigga Jr. But I don't want to bore you. I will just say this though. For those who don't intimately know me on the regular, I am Dr. Mark Baker. I did go to Dillon University, New Orleans, for undergrad. Shout out to Mark Grooms, DU grad, my big brother. And we went there, came back to Clark for my master's and my doctorate in African American Studies. I taught current issues in African American Studies at Clark Atlanta University. And I was the first male professor to teach women's studies at Clark Atlanta University. And about 20 years ago, almost, I was sergeant in the police department at Clark Atlanta University. So, I mean, I started my first dissertation. We're not going to talk about all three that I had the right to become Dr. Baker, but one of them was countering the conspiracy to destroy black boys, and I took a job in Fulton County Schools. And while I was working in Fulton County Schools, shout out Brandon, raise your hand, Brandon, that's one of my former students, and he's also an inspiration for banning the box in the city of South Fulton. I mean, I got that out as a school, you know, running a little bit. Brandon was my guy after Katrina hit, when all the kids came from New Orleans and they tried to tear it up, and it was a clash of Georgia and New Orleans kids, and I had to walk around and be the person out of the school that had like 700 students, now with 1,500 students, and I was the only person there. And Brandon was one of my guys that had a free pass to my office whenever he wanted to. And but Brandon hit a couple rough patches after graduating and stuff, and he came back to South Fulton, and he couldn't get a job. And when we were talking about it and trying to figure it out, he ended up being the inspiration behind me passing the ban the box legislation, because Brandon now is a college graduate. Brandon is my guy, and he and I Jesse and I, we got on the plane and went to his graduation, you know, in Florida, and I was so proud of him because I saw where he came from, and that's what it's all about. So when I see people like Chapman, I see people like Brandon, and I'm like, yo, this is what the community needs, and it's great to hear about the infrastructure dollars coming from, you know, Congress when David Scott shares it. It's good to see all of the things about transportation that every congressperson is able to come home as a deliverable because everybody gets it.
Correct.
But there are intimate needs in our community. You understand what I'm saying? And you gotta meet your people where they are and work in concert with them. And I'm proud to be able to say that I've done that successfully over the past 5 years. It's shown through my relationships, the people in this room, and through my legislation. With that being said, I'll start something tonight that I wanted to start for some time. I mean, everybody here that I gave a proclamation to, can you just stand?
Yeah.
Just stand up. You received the proclamation. Mark is right here. Stand up. Rick, Mark is there. Everybody, these are all people who have been recipients of an acknowledgement formally from our city. These are all great people. And there's many, many more. But I point them out. Y'all have to see the book. I point them out to say this. When you encourage people and when you help them and when you acknowledge what they've done, it only propels them to go faster and further and do more. And that's what we've been able to do. So I had a brother by the name of Haroon from the Street Rooms. Anybody familiar with Haroon, just raise your hand. Anybody know the work that Haroon has done in this area? I appreciate that. Haroon passed away last year. He's from Chicago. He was one of my brothers that y'all understand him as being my brother's ass. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to leave that in West Side Chicago.
Yeah.
But this brother, Haroon, was a good brother who did great things in our community. He had an organization called the Street Rooms, where he would get people right. And when there was problems in communities that people don't know who to go and find and talk to, he knew. And he would go and he would adjust things. He was almost like a neighborhood fixer, like Marcus. You know, these neighborhood fixers, they have the pulse of the community. Oh, pause. I'm sorry, babes. Raise your hand, sister. That's another neighborhood fixer right there. Stand up real quick so people can just see Charmaine. That's my sister and a neighborhood fixer as well. But I was at his memorial. While I was at his memorial, I did honor him with a proclamation. And it ate at me that I gave him a proclamation when he wasn't here to receive it. You know, I knew the work that he was doing. And it just made me say, you know what, I'm not going to miss another moment because I'm older than Martin Luther King lived to be.
Correct.
I'm older than Malcolm X lived to be. So at some point we have to start acknowledging the people. So I know I'm here because it's a fundraiser and I do need your support. But the reality of it is, I don't know how to come together just to get support without acknowledging people in the same room. Because I'm no bigger, I'm no better than these people who actually come together for us to be successful. And so, with that being said, I haven't pointed out my mom. Actually, I have 4 moms right in this room. Raise your hand real quick. All 4 of my mamas, y'all know y'all. Miss Jack, my mother-in-law, Miss Jenny,
Mama
my
count.
mom.
Mama count.
Mama, real free, you gonna give me that? Okay.
And mama count.
Oh, wait.
Mama count.
Mama Kemp is like my sister, we box. With Mama Kemp. Raise your hand, Mama Kemp. Mama Kemp is an activist and a person in our community who is busy as well. We appreciate her. Tomorrow she's going to be honored. They're going to be honored at the Capitol. Raise your hand, please. Let's wave real quick. Just give them a wave because there's people over here that can't see you. They need to see you over that dress too. Shout out to Mama Kemp. That's Kate Kemp's mama. Everybody know that rapper. He's one of my favorite rappers. There ain't nothing to cut somebody off.
Let's take this time.
Just want to go. Okay. All right. But anyway, I want to talk about the person who gave platinum quarter.
Platinum.
This is my mom. I'm her only child. Now, she did something real smooth, like adopted her sister, her twin sister's son when she went away to the military. So I grew up with her brother. He is my brother. He claims her the same way I do, but I'm the only one that she gave birth to in real life. So it's like, three jobs she worked at one time. 3 jobs she would work. I was what you call a latchkey kid. I joke with my son about how he leaves the garage and comes home in the garage. He doesn't even have, you ain't got a key to your house, do you? You ain't got a key to his house. And when I was 14, 15 years old, I was in Milwaukee playing basketball tournaments. I was all around the place doing some of everything. Some of the stuff she didn't know what I was doing, but she gave me everything that I needed, right? I probably wore the same pair of pants, but I had some Jordans on my feet, you know? Like she made sure that I had the stuff that, you know, that Chicago requires you to have, you know? You know, if you have the Jordans, they talk about you. But the bottom line is, she retired from MARTA as a police officer in the year before me, right? 2014? In 2014. But what's more impressive, she came down here after being a Cook County sheriff in Chicago and then went through the whole academy down here in Fulton County Training Center and became a MARTA police. And I ain't gonna tell you what age she was. But she's a remarkable woman. Yeah, she's and we gotta go, so I'm not gonna keep on knocking it out like this, but the point of it is, I've given proclamations out to people who some people have contention about. You know, from Larry Hoover's family to Jay Prince, to my man Trap, raise your hand real quick, Trap. To my man Trap, was Outside Legend. But the thing is, you know, it's about acknowledging where we are, not where we've been. And my mom did everything back then to make me who I am now. And I appreciate her and I love her. And I've been talking about starting something else before I was even in office, acknowledging people. And the name of this acknowledgement will be in her honor. So can you hear me? So, for someone who did a thankless job for several years, and for others who do so much for people in silence and as a footnote, I'm starting something. Win or lose, every year I want to give out these awards called the O'Lillian Award. My mama's name is O'Lillian. And so, it's only befitting that I give her the first O'Lillian Award. And the O'Lillian Award it says, the O'Lillian Award presented to O'Lillian Baker, the reason, the purpose, and the prototype. So for years to come, people are going to receive O'Lillians in her honor for those people who just do it. Just wake up every day and just go and just gives selflessly of themselves, not looking for an acknowledgement. So, Mom, this for you. Grab this. So since she got Just a couple people real quick. I gotta have y'all come up real quick on the side baseline as to call your name. As like a starting lineup. Because these are people who I've seen do things in the background and in the shadows that need to be acknowledged. The first one goes to my brother Jamal Grooms. Please come up here. Jamal Grooms is being presented with the Stalwart Award, which means this guy's a fixture everywhere you go and a leader everywhere you go. And outside of the fact that we both pledged Kappa at the same university, he embraced me when I was still doing things that I shouldn't do. Because if stuff got crazy back in the day, Chevy went to have on over there, one of my brothers that know me better than most, we would get busy. And he would tell me, hey, no, you can't go about it that way. So for over 20 plus years of telling me, you can't go about it that way, I appreciate you, brother. Come up, Trap. So, real quick, Trap has a story. I'm not going to tell y'all his story. That's why I'm going to let the band play, and then y'all can meet these people and find out how great they are. Trap has a story he told me. I'm going to tell you part of it because he don't back away from it. He had no problem sharing. Trap, he said 10 years ago, 10 years ago now he was in prison. But I grew up running around while my mom was doing them 3 jobs under people that reminded me of this guy right here. And the first time me and my son went to the Sunday and we were watching him being a giant in the community and doing so much for all of these people. And every time you go to his Instagram, he has something else that he's doing for the community. He's in the schools, you know, once a week, he's all over the place. And he never stops. So this old Lillian goes to Travis Barber for being unbreakable. Because there's so many things that happen in our community, and his story that when you touch him, you be able to talk to him. If he shares it, you will know why I call this man unbreakable. Thank you so much, Travis. Yes. Say, so most people, right, go to school, you know, a lot of us, when we grow up, especially the black boys, we want to be baseball players, football players, and basketball players. Christian Morton, you play with the Falcons, right? Falcons, guess what? Hey, yo, raise your hand real quick, Christian. Y'all probably don't know Christian Morton over here. He's a former NFL player, Atlanta Falcon, but that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
I'm just like, come up here, I need you to come up. Because being a Falcon is just a footnote of who Christian Morton is. He's a guy that when he finds out that somebody has a problem, he's jumping in. It doesn't matter about how long he's known them or what their situation is. He just jumps in. Well, listen, head first. And his wife over there, you know you do. So it's a lot. Like, I'm not gonna get into all of the details because I know what he's doing for people right now. People who I know and love. And I just ain't met nobody like you, dog, who just jump in like that. And I appreciate you and I love you for it, man. And I don't have all of the years of the friendship, but it's just amazing to meet somebody like you, brother. And Christian Morton is receiving an altruism award. Yeah. Altruism means unselfish concern for the well-being of others. And he gets the first Olympian for altruism, and I appreciate you. So, this other brother, amazing story. Actually, it's a whole group. And I want you to meet him and you can learn more about his story. But this brother has stretched me to make myself say, you know what, it's not about individuals because we're building the community. And so I would like to ask the gallery group to come up real quick as I start talking about how this brother jumps in and out of his personal life He has a story. If he wants to share it, it's up to him. But at the same time, this brother I met through my friend Pam about a year or so ago, and I learned about the businesses he has and the work that he's doing. And this group is an amazing group of brothers that look like me. It's about business and they're about success. And I just want to present to them the Emerging Businessman Award. The first Olympian Emerging Businessman Award goes to the Gallup Group. I appreciate y'all. So look, that one person, she couldn't make it. And then I might as well acknowledge her because I'm going to give it to her. Y'all know Mama Joyce.
Yeah.
Mama Joyce couldn't make it out. But Mama Joyce is somebody that through our city council, since we started this city, and she had a change. She can just be a regular citizen all day long, but she fights for the people and everybody. And she is receiving the Truth to Power Award because she steps to her beef in South Fulton every single council meeting. If you don't believe me, go pull the tape. And most of the time, she right. Every now and then we have to say, well, no, Mama, it's a little bit different. We explain it. But she's like, well, all right now, y'all gotta let us know what's going on. But she owned it. But Mama Joyce could be here tonight. I love her too. But I just want to say thank you so much. And
Seals. Cedric.
yeah, Courtney couldn't make it. Courtney Bear Seals. Courtney Bear Seals is probably one of the biggest brothers in our community that's on the low, always making stuff happen. He was in LA. I don't know if he made it back or not, but he handled some stuff during the Larry Hoover concert, back in December. And he's one of those guys that is always great to have around and that know everybody and doesn't ever want to be acknowledged. So give a round of applause in his absence to Courtney Bear Seals. That being said, I really appreciate everybody being here. We have, we have so much stuff going on. Harriet Bryant also, she's the owner of the 50-yard line. Miss Bryant has a business in my city that has been there for over 20-some years, and she had one incident, and in an unfair fashion, I believe it was very unfair. I voted against it. She had an issue, but she's been a fixture in the South Fulton community, whether it be the 50-yard line or what is the other one? Grown folks, and she's being honored as well. Thank you guys so much for allowing me this opportunity. What I want to do is I want to kick with y'all individually. Please make sure y'all get over here and take a picture and move around. I'm old, and this was amazing to me to see that. I've never seen something like that. We have new stuff that's going on. And I also want to just, yes. I have two members real quick, as well as our attorney of the South Fulton Development Authority. Can you please stand up real quick? If you on the South Fulton Development Authority or you on, just come on now. Because this is what, so that's our attorney. Right there, Mr. Millie Walker, and we have Rick Ross and Brother Jamal Grooms. You will be receiving something in the mail this week announcing something that's going to be amazing news. Before we leave, I'm going to try to get it up on his board so you can see it, but we have a gentleman by the name of Jeff Butler who came to South Fulton to purchase the property where his ancestors were once enslaved, right? In South Fulton in Cedar Grove, District 4. He builds Hyatts around the country and around the world. And I'm the chairman of our city's development authority. I don't know if I said that, but it's called Envision South Fulton. I wrote the legislation some years ago, and I've been elected chair twice of this South Fulton Development Authority. And we have a $2 billion project coming to the heart of Old National. Yeah. We're going to get this in the mail. You told me too, I ain't going to go too But I'd rather just under-promise and over-deliver, but it's going to be 12, 25-story buildings with over 10,000 jobs committed. It's an amazing undertaking. Once we got that 74 acres, we maximized it, even though we only had to deliver to the city. One hotel, working with this development authority and our attorney, Amelia Walker, we're able to bring this, and the ribbon cut is going to be on May 6th. So please come out, 10 a.m., Old National Park, May 6th. You're going to get a beautiful mailer real soon with all of these handsome and pretty faces on the people who put this project together, and I'm just proud to be the catalyst behind that. So thank you guys so much. I have to say this when I leave all the time before the band come up. Chef, you can go ahead. It's one of these things that when I leave, I always leave with the best song ever written, the Stevie Wonder song that says, at the end, my mom, who's here, she can attest to that 8-track she used to play in that Grand Prix as we drove back and forth to Detroit to see my dad, and she ain't gonna admit to that. But it's a song Stevie Wonder sings, and it's called As, and at the end of it, you know, he gets mad at this song, but the song throughout it is one of the most beautiful songs where he talks about the love and how long he'll be loving someone until the day that 8 times 8 is 4, until the day is the day that are no more, until the, dolphins fly and parents live at sea. That doesn't matter. Until we dream a life and life becomes a dream. I got a dream, y'all. I'm gonna be the congressman. Yeah! I got a dream, I'm gonna be the congressman. Yeah! But what Stevie Wonder says at the end of the song when he starts screaming is, "We all know!" I can sing it, y'all. I ain't gonna say it. What he says is, we all know sometimes life has its troubles. Sometimes life hurts and troubles that'll make you wish you were born in another time and place. But you can bet your life times that and twice that double that God knows exactly where He wanted you to be placed. So make sure when you say you're in it, but not of it, you're not helping to make this place called Earth a place sometime called hell. Change your words into truth, and then change that truth into love, and maybe our children, grandchildren, or their great-grandchildren will tell. I'm running for United States Congress. I'm going to win. I see a pathway to it. It's real simple. Y'all come out and vote May 2nd. May 24th is election day. I appreciate you guys, and I love you. Thank you.
Who is Congressman? And DJ play that wonderful song we call it the Millionaire Steps to the Stage, so we can go out and bring style. Millionaire Steps, we ready for you. Y'all stay tuned for this wonderful day.
We are Millionaire.
Is that all right? Ain't too loud. No, we be a little loud sometimes. A little tough though. Sorry about that. But say, when the night goes, no matter what, she can look like you. But at your age, you got your shoes size, maybe you do turn. Don't let too much damage you to have the better So y'all understand, we just...
Did everybody give money? Did everybody pay something?
Where's the cash out?
And if you didn't pay something,
Cash out, Zelle, tablet,
check,
check, PayPal.
friends of Mark Baker.
We need all that.
Congressman, would you like to have any final words before we quit? Y'all ain't got to go, but y'all got to get up out of here.
Really quick, I just want to thank everybody that came out, everybody that helped me put this together. My sister Keosha, who yelling something at me that I can't even hear. I need you to just stop and raise your hand real quick. Y'all know this lady, she done called. If you all round of applause, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to help put this thing together. And my brother to my right, who clapping for other people all the time, brother Yusuf. My brother, I love you, man. I appreciate it. Where my sister AJ is somewhere around here. AJ is around here. I love her. Sadly, I appreciate you guys, everybody who came out. Thank you so much, my family, all my mamas, my mama Janet, my mama Olivia, Diane Baker, Mama Jack, Miss Jack, and Mama Outway. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. I love you. Baker, the number 4, Congress.com, and mark your calendars for May 12th. Again, mark your calendars for May 12th. We're going to be at the Georgia International Convention Center. We have a sneaker ball / adult prom. It's going to be real dope. We need y'all to come out, get in your formal wear, and then pull your Yeezys out, or whatever you got. I don't care if it's a Souls or Reeboks, or whatever you got, pull them out, and we're going to do something different. We're going to have an adult prom. All the kids going to prom this month. We're going to go to prom next month, and we're going to put our sneakers on and kick back, have fun. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Make it the number 4 Congress.com. Y'all give it up for the band. I love them. This is my 3rd time listening to them. I love y'all. This brother can actually turn into Prince when you give them the right energy. Y'all make sure y'all connect with them. My young lady over here with the 360 butterfly soiree at gmail.com. Please check her out. If y'all need her for any of y'all events, she out here being so deep. We really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. God bless you. Please get home safe.
He shout me out, but I'm your host, Tisa Edge. Now I'm shout out to you at 12 at the sneaker ball, and he shout you out, DJ Chevy.
If you haven't made a donation, I need you to cut it. I need you to cash out and cut that check. Cut it. Cut that check. We're going to close out like this. We're going to slow it down one time. Let's do it like this.
Hey, get that check.
need her for any of your children programs or adult programs of learning financial literacy. Her family also has a brand called High Nature Vegan Laundry Detergent. There are 15 stores.